Hello, my name is Curly and welcome to 442. Now, the lovely people at 442 have been asking creators to make some football content to go on their channel. It's fair to say there are some big shoes to fill. It's like going in at Manchester United after 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏 or Arsene Wenger at Arsenal, or even Tim Lovejoy at Soccer AM. It's a tough gig, but for this video, I've called in a favour. Hello, Tubes, and welcome to 442. How are you?
So I'm good, mate. It's an absolute privilege to be on 442.
What have you liked about the Premier League this season?
I think some of the games have been unbelievable. I mean, the Premier League's always super exciting, isn't it? The quality of it is just, it's scary, isn't it? I mean, there's a few teams, obviously, who haven't performed well at all, but just the quality of football, mate, it's amazing. What
has been the biggest surprise for you this season?
But it has to be Forest, doesn't it? Nuno is absolutely smashing it out of the ballpark. They're going to get top four. And if you said to anyone at the start of the season, Nottingham Forest will be top four, you've gone, no, they won't. Seeing 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗧 ripping it up down the left Forest, it's like, as a Chelsea fan, you're like, you know, he's another one we let go. I mean, Morgan Gibbs-White, what a footballer. You know, Chris Wood banging in the goals. They've got a good squad there. You know, when like, a couple of seasons ago, they just bought, there's so many players. I remember doing an interview with when Steve Cooper was in charge, and he was just like, there's so many players here, and he had sort of like all these cards with him, like for languages, because of loads of different players from different countries, and obviously him getting sacked, Nuno coming in. Anyone would say that's the biggest surprise of the season, and fair play to them. They've been unbelievable.
And you've met Nuno numerous occasions. What's he like to interview?
I suppose it's what day you get them on. But Nuno, the first time I met him was at Wolves. He spent half the interview just looking at me like up and down like this, like. And I was like, what is going on? But it was really interesting. And then I met him at Spurs, and he was the nicest man.
Do you put him ahead of Arne Slot winning the Premier League title as manager of the season? Liverpool have got the squad already to go and compete at the top, but then coming in after Klopp and after all the success he's had, it's amazing to see Slot get a tune out of these players. And they're going to not just win the league, they're going to win it at a canter.
Yeah, would you say he's slotted in well?
He's slotted in very well, Pete. You never lose it, do you?
Yeah, oh, mate, I'm on absolute flames. You know, Slot has got an unbelievable squad, but you can't knock the job that he's done because it could have gone completely the other way. Do you know what I mean? He's come in there and he's basically won the Premier League in his first season, and he's played some very, very good football. But for me, if Forest do get top four, which I think he's got to be manager of the season, yeah.
A few teams that are definitely not going to get top four, who at the start of the season we may have thought might have had a chance: Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United. As a Chelsea fan, I'm sure you're quite happy to see Spurs where they are. They've scored so many goals, but they've also conceded so many goals.
I love watching 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗧 in his press conferences. I'd love to have interviewed him. If we were at Soccer AM together, he looks like an honest guy, says what he thinks, and seems like a really, really good bloke. I don't understand when people say stuff like, "Oh, always win stuff in the second season," because straight away you're heaping pressure on yourself and your players, and then you start losing a couple. Well, then the fans get on your back, and then, I don't know, do you try and overcompensate with putting more attacking players? I don't really know what's happened there.
If you were to interview him then, what question would you ask him?
I'd quite like to know, out of all the managers, like past and present, who he'd like to put a few shrimps on the barbie with and have a few tins around the barbie. I'm intrigued about the personality of the man. I think it'd be a right good laugh, proper character. So I'd probably ask which managers, and I reckon, I don't know, him and Sean Dyche would be a good night out, wouldn't it?
Imagine that, Sean Dyche and 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗏𝗧𝗏𝗧 over a couple of shrimps on the barbie. They'd be absolutely flying.
It'd be amazing. Klopp as well.
Right, moving on to some breakout stars of the Premier League this season. Not being biased about 𝗕𝗫𝗍𝗍𝗓𝗍, but
I mean, how good has he been? You're an Arsenal fan. I mean, how good is he, Carl?
Absolutely brilliant. He's got no fear, which is what I love. And you think about what we were doing at 18. We weren't playing in the Champions League quarter-final against Real Madrid, and having an absolute stormer. I love the way he collects the ball and drives into midfield. He'll have no problem trying to beat a player in his own half to get that extra yard and then dominate into midfield. The way he defends, the way he gets the crowd up, unbelievable player. Who's been the one for you?
Anthony Robinson. The amount of assists he's had this season. Do you know what? We actually filmed with him the other day, and I was asking about that, and he was like, it wasn't until later on in my career I actually knew sort of what sort of footballer I was. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, when I was back in the day playing at Wigan and Everton, and he's like, I didn't really know what I was good at or what I was doing. And it was so interesting to hear from him. He ruined my Christmas. It was basically Fulham beat Chelsea at Christmas. And I was watching him down the left, and I was like, this bloke is on another level. Do you know what I mean? It was like watching Ashley Cole back in the day. So it was just up and back, up and back. He's got to be given some credit, as do all the Fulham team. He's not talked about enough. I think Anthony Robinson, or Jedi, as everyone calls him, is superb. Yeah,
he's on 10 assists currently as we record this, alongside 𝗕𝗫𝗧𝗥𝗔-𝗧𝗜𝗍, Jacob Murphy and Bukayo Saka. Do you see a lot of clubs in the summer that'll be looking at him?
Exactly. And I know he loves Fulham, but he's 27 years old, and I think a lot of clubs will be in for him, yeah. And rightfully so. 10 assists from playing the position he does, you know, and you could argue, no disrespect to Fulham, you put him in a better team, that's just going to enhance him further. So, I do think a lot of clubs will be in for him.
As a proper Chelsea fan, what's been your overview of the season so far?
Flat. As a Chelsea fan, we've got to rein it in a bit and go, we're starting again. We're not Chelsea with Drogba, Lampard, Terry, Ashley Cole, Petr Cech. We're not, unfortunately. So we shouldn't be like entitled to go, we're going to win the league this year. We're not, because we're not good enough. They say long-term plan, then they get rid of Pochettino. Then they bring in Maresca, and we still got an extremely young squad. It's like, what I don't understand is there's areas of Chelsea's team that need improving vastly, and we always seem to, every time there's a transfer window, we're linked to a winger. And I'm like, we've got one centre forward, we've got 8 goalkeepers, but I think we need again, no disrespect to anyone, because who am I to comment on professional footballers? If you're going to get top 4, like try and win big trophies, you need a centre forward, and you need a top class goalkeeper. And at the moment, I don't think we at Chelsea, even though we have 8 of them, we don't have a top class goalkeeper. So I think Maresca's done an all right job. I think he's done a good job. Like, what are we, 5th as we currently speak, or 6th as we currently speak? If you ask Chelsea fans at the start of the season, they may or may have not taken that. I mean, when everyone was like, Chelsea are going to win the league, Chelsea are going to win the league, we were never, ever going to win the league, for me, because I don't think we've got, even though we've spent millions, billions, trillions, I don't think we have the squad to win the Premier League, because I don't think we've got strong enough backup or first team starters in areas where we should. I think in the summer, though, he needs to get rid of some players, bring some in, and people are talking about him getting sacked now. Again, you know, if he does, 1, who do you get, and 2, you're rebuilding from the start again. A new manager with not his players, so I think you've just got to stick with a manager, and I wish it was Pochettino personally. I wish we'd have stuck with him, because I think he would have really took the club forward. But Maresca, I don't think has done a bad job.
We're coming up to the end of the season. You mentioned Chelsea like to be busy in the transfer market. I think I know what position you're going to say. If Chelsea to sign 1 player, I'm guessing it would be a forward. Who would you go out and get?
Who's out there, mate?
𝗕𝗫𝗧𝗥𝗔-𝗧𝗜𝗍 is obviously the obvious one, but he's going to cost you what, 120, 130?
Why would he leave Newcastle if they get Champions League football and Chelsea don't?
Do you think your season hinges on getting Champions League football?
I think it's a massive thing for what calibre of players you bring. Yeah, of course. You look at Isaac, like, I think he's amazing. You know, Osimhen was going to was going to join, and he wasn't. Don't get me wrong, Nicholas Jackson, the improvement in Nicholas Jackson has been scary. This is what I'm saying about Chelsea fans, and I've got to rein it in a bit. Because I'm thinking Drogba. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and Drogba wins you Premier League, Drogba wins you Champions League, and Nicholas Jackson, for me, is not on Drogba's level. But then again, who is. Where we are as a club at the moment, 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗥𝗧𝗧𝗧 doing a fantastic job. You know, I think in a few years' time, he could be deadly, really could be deadly. But as a Chelsea fan, you always want instant success. So I'm not saying get rid of 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗥𝗧𝗧𝗧. I think the most important area is the goalkeeper, if I'm honest. But then again, who do you bring in? Who's out there? Who's going to come?
Would you take Ramsdale?
I would, yeah. I would take Aaron Ramsdale because I think he's better than what we've got, if I'm honest. And I think he'd be brilliant for the changing room. Great guy. Goalkeepers, like, they can save you so many points. And I don't think Maresca knows who his first choice is because we've had, you know, Jorgensen come in, then you bring back Sanchez, and then the way he wants to play as well, you've got to be good with your feet. So then, you know, you're looking at, like, who's out there. Who's out there is brilliant at stopping balls going in the goal and great with their feet. So it's a tough one. But, yeah, I think a goalkeeper for Chelsea is really important.
If I offered you the Europa Conference League trophy ahead of Champions League football, would you take it?
Are you mad?
Are you not going to go out to the final if you get there, wherever it may be?
Are you mad, young curls? Champions League. No, Champions League's the pinnacle, isn't it? Because if you're going to progress the football club, you want the best players to come. And I don't think they're going to come off the back of us winning the Europa Conference League.
I just thought I'd dangle that carrot down there, just see if you fancied another trophy.
And I've absolutely punched that carrot clean away.
Let's finish up with some predictions. The season's coming to a close. It looks like top 5 is going to get you Champions League football.
I'm looking at Chelsea's fixtures coming up, and we're playing teams in that top 5. So, I mean, I can't say not Chelsea, but I'm really not sure they're going to get it, if I'm honest.
There's so much to play for still.
The top 5 race is absolutely spicy, isn't it? Really, really good. So that is actually a really good thing towards the end of the season. Not as a Chelsea fan, because I'm absolutely bricking it. I'm a bit scared that we're going to miss out. So I think I'm going to say Chelsea are going to go in there just for the sake of being a Chelsea fan.
Pete, thanks for your time, mate. Always a pleasure.
No worries, mate. Thank you to you and FourFourTwo for having me on. Appreciate it.